Hello everyone, this is your friend Naruto Fix, and we are back with another epic What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Naruto unlocked the power beyond the Sage of Six Paths? If you love Naruto fanfics, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey with me. So, let's start the fanfic. The battlefield was silent, the wind carried the smell of burnt earth and broken dreams. Naruto Uzumaki stood at the center of it all, his body battered, his chakra nearly drained, and his heart torn between hope and despair. The war was supposed to end with peace, but peace never came easily. Kaguya Otsutsuki had been defeated years ago, and the world had entered an uneasy calm. Yet deep within the fabric of the shinobi world, a new distortion began to stir, something older than the Sage of Six Paths himself. It was an energy not meant for mortals. Naruto could sense it first. His Six Paths Sage mode, once radiant and warm, now felt heavy, burdened by an overwhelming current that didn't belong. Kurama, within his mind, noticed too. Greater than, Naruto, something's wrong. This isn't normal chakra. It's something beyond chakra. Naruto clenched his fists. Beyond chakra. What do you mean, Kurama? The great fox's voice rumbled low. Greater than, you remember Hagoromo, the Sage of Six Paths. The power he gave you wasn't the peak, it was a gift meant to prepare you for something greater. I think that something is waking up inside you. Days passed, and strange things began to happen. Naruto's dreams were haunted by visions of a golden sun and an endless void, and in that void stood a figure cloaked in cosmic light. His eyes shimmered with stars, and his voice echoed through Naruto's soul. Greater than, you are not yet whole, child of prophecy. The power you hold is but a reflection of what once was. Do you seek to surpass the paths, to awaken the origin? Naruto gasped in his dream. Who are you? What's the origin? The figure's voice resonated like thunder and melody intertwined. Greater than, the Sage of Six Paths was but my shadow. I am the source, the creator of chakra, of balance, of all things. You were chosen not to follow the path, but to go beyond it. Quote, when Naruto woke, he found himself floating mid-air. His chakra flared uncontrollably, golden flames turning white-hot, spiraling around him like miniature suns. The air trembled. Even the trees of Konoha bowed from the pressure. Kurama growled inside. Greater than, Naruto, your chakra is evolving. Stop it before. But it was too late. The seal lines across Naruto's body glowed, and his eyes transformed. No longer the calm pattern of the Six Paths Sage mode. Instead, his pupils split into glowing fractals, radiating divine light. His aura turned from gold to blinding white, laced with cosmic blue sparks. In that instant, time itself seemed to freeze. Far away, Sasuke Uchiha felt it. Sitting atop a cliff overlooking the valley, his Rinnegan throbbed violently. Greater than, that idiot, what has he done now? He teleported using Amino Tejikara and appeared before Naruto, who was still suspended in midair. Dobe, Sasuke muttered, his cloak fluttering, you're disturbing the natural flow of chakra across the entire continent. Naruto's voice was deeper, distorted, almost echoing two tones at once. Greater than, I can't stop it, Sasuke, something's awakening inside me. Quote, Sasuke activated his Sharingan, then widened his eyes in disbelief. Greater than, no, that energy, it's not chakra. It's divine essence. Lightning struck across the skies as reality rippled around Naruto. Every living being, from birds to shinobi, felt an overwhelming surge of emotion, as if the world itself was trembling before him. Kurama's voice roared. Greater than, Naruto, this is the power beyond the Sage of Six Paths. The energy of creation itself. If you lose control, you'll erase this world. Naruto's heart raced. Visions flooded his mind, memories of everyone he loved, Sakura, Kakashi, Hinata, Boruto, Himawari, even Sasuke standing beside him through every hardship. He screamed, fighting to anchor himself. Greater than, I won't lose myself. The explosion that followed split mountains. A blinding wave of light expanded outward, reaching the skies. When the light faded, Naruto stood transformed. His hair shimmered white with streaks of gold. His cloak had turned ethereal, shifting like the surface of a star. The Uzumaki spiral on his back burned like a miniature sun. His eyes, now the eyes of origin, pulsed with the rhythm of the universe. Sasuke shielded his eyes. What are you? Naruto looked at his hands. They glowed with creation and destruction at once. Greater than, I don't know, Sasuke. But I can feel everything. Every soul, every heartbeat in this world. Quote, Kurama's voice had softened now, full of awe. Greater than, you've gone beyond chakra, Naruto. Beyond the sage. You're touching the power of the primordial source, the energy that even the gods feared to wield. Quote, But such power was never meant to rest quietly. Deep within the moon's core, a shadow began to move. It was the remnant consciousness of Kaguya, long dormant, feeding off the energy Naruto had just released. Her voice hissed in the void. Greater than, so the vessel of Hagoromo dares to surpass even me, very well, Naruto Uzumaki. If you seek to ascend, I shall drag you down to the abyss. The moon cracked. From its surface erupted a colossal figure made of black void energy, Kaguya reborn, but changed. Her form was unstable, like liquid darkness, her eyes glowing crimson. Sasuke's Rinnegan flared in alarm. Greater than, she's back. But, this isn't the same Kaguya. Naruto clenched his fists, light radiating from his veins. Greater than, then I'll end this once and for all. Kaguya spoke, her voice echoing across the planet. Greater than, you dare to wield the Origin's light. Foolish child, that power will consume you. Naruto smiled faintly. Maybe, but I'll use it to protect everything I love, even if it burns me away. And with that, the final battle began. Kaguya launched waves of darkness that devoured entire landscapes. Space folded, dimensions tore open, and entire mountain ranges vanished in the blink of an eye. But Naruto was faster, light itself bent around him as he moved. His fists glowed brighter than stars, each punch rewriting the very laws of nature. The two forces, creation and void, clashed again and again, shaking heaven and earth. Sasuke joined the fight, using his Rinnegan to warp through dimensions, backing Naruto with Amaterasu-enhanced Chidori strikes. Still, Kaguya's power multiplied. Every hit Naruto landed only made her evolve further. Kurama's voice echoed urgently. Greater than, Naruto. There's only one way, you have to fuse with the Origin completely. But doing that might erase your humanity. Naruto's heart pounded. He looked at Sasuke, who was bleeding but still standing strong. Sasuke, if I disappear, take care of everyone for me. Sasuke glared. You always talk like you're the hero. Don't die, idiot. Naruto smiled one last time. Greater than, guess that's our story, huh? He closed his eyes, and surrendered. The sky turned white. The earth stopped spinning for a heartbeat. Every soul across the world, shinobi, civilian, beast, saw a radiant light fill the heavens. Naruto Uzumaki dissolved into that light, becoming one with the energy that flowed through all existence. His voice whispered across every mind, soft and eternal. Greater than, believe in peace. Believe in bonds. That's my ninja way. Kaguya screamed as the light swallowed her, erasing her existence forever. When the storm cleared, there was silence again. Only Sasuke stood beneath the quiet sky, looking up at the fading glow. Greater than, you really did it, Dobe. You went beyond the sage, beyond even the gods. And from the horizon, the dawn broke, a new sun rising, brighter than ever before. Naruto's legend lived on, not as a man, but as the light that connected every soul in the world. The light that had once engulfed the world slowly faded, leaving behind only stillness. Yet, in that silence, something vast lingered, a vibration that hummed through every living thing. The leaves in the forests rustled not from the wind, but from the residual essence of Naruto Uzumaki. His power had become one with the very air. Sasuke stood on a shattered cliff, his cloak torn, his Rinnegan still glowing faintly. The remnants of battle were everywhere, cracks in the land, distorted space still trying to stabilize. But what haunted him most was the emptiness. Naruto was gone. No chakra signature, no voice, just light, fading into the horizon. Greater than, idiot, Sasuke muttered under his breath, his voice trembling slightly. You always go too far. Kurama's presence, too, was silent within the void. Yet far away, in a place where neither time nor space held meaning, a spark of consciousness stirred. Naruto floated in an endless expanse of golden mist. There was no ground, no sky, only infinite light. His body no longer existed, instead, he was awareness, a soul adrift in the realm beyond creation. He could feel the heartbeat of every star, the whisper of every life form still breathing in the mortal world. Greater than, where am I? His thought echoed into the vast emptiness. From the distance, the same radiant figure from his dreams appeared, the being known as the Origin. Its form was blinding, yet serene, radiating a peace that even gods would kneel before. Greater than, you have crossed the boundary, child of destiny, the figure said, its voice resonating with the music of the cosmos. You have become more than mortal, more than sage. You have entered the realm of the source. Quote, Naruto's consciousness flickered, trying to understand. Greater than, the source. You mean, I'm dead. Greater than, no. You are transcending. You have touched the energy that births existence itself. But to wield it fully, you must let go of what you once were. Quote, Naruto's memories flashed, his childhood loneliness, Iruka's warmth, Team 7's laughter, Hinata's smile, Boruto and Himawari's faces. He felt everything, and it broke him. Greater than, I can't let go, he whispered. They're my reason for everything. My world. The Origin's light pulsed softly. Greater than, then your power will remain incomplete. To become the guardian of all, you must release the self. You must become the world itself. Quote, Naruto hesitated. He could feel the pull, the infinite warmth calling him to dissolve into pure existence. But he clenched his fading essence tighter. Greater than, I made a promise to protect everyone. I won't protect them by leaving them behind. Quote, for a long moment, the cosmos was silent. Then, the Origin spoke again, its tone almost amused, almost proud. Greater than, you are truly Hagoromo's successor. Very well, Naruto Uzumaki. If you refuse to ascend, then you shall bridge the two realms, divine and mortal. You will carry the light into the world below, as its guardian. A symbol appeared within the golden mist, a spiral, infinite and glowing, the mark of the Uzumaki. The Origin placed it upon Naruto's soul, and instantly, an explosion of energy rippled across reality. Back on Earth, Sasuke felt it first. His Rinnegan flickered wildly as a column of white flame erupted from the ground miles away. He teleported instantly, landing atop a mountain overlooking the new phenomenon. The light condensed, and from it, a figure began to form. Naruto. But not the same Naruto. His hair flowed longer, silver gold and alive with energy. His skin radiated soft luminescence. His cloak, now pure white with streaks of blue and gold, shimmered like liquid stars. His eyes were no longer Rinnegan-like, but something entirely different. They were alive, moving like galaxies in motion. Sasuke froze. Naruto, what the hell have you become? Naruto opened his eyes fully, and when he spoke, his voice carried an echo, both human and divine. Greater than, I'm not sure. But I think, I'm me. And something more. Sasuke could sense it. The air around Naruto wasn't chakra. It wasn't nature energy either. It was something fundamental, the blueprint of existence. Every grain of dust seemed to vibrate to his pulse. Greater than, your power, Sasuke said slowly, it's rewriting the flow of reality. Even my Rinnegan can't fully perceive it. Naruto smiled faintly. Guess that means I went a little too far, huh? Quote, but before they could speak further, the ground trembled. A violent surge of darkness burst from the distance, where the moon once hung. Sasuke turned sharply. No, I felt her vanish. How is she? From the black horizon, something tore open, a rift that screamed with void energy. A clawed hand emerged, dripping in shadow. Then another, Kaguya, but not as she was before. Her body was reconstructed from dark matter, her chakra twisted by the fragments of cosmic power Naruto released. Her voice carried fury and pain. Greater than, Naruto Uzumaki, your light awakened me again. But now I am not bound by form or fate. I am the abyss. The sky itself cracked. Shadows spread across the horizon, swallowing the light. Villagers trembled as their people looked up, seeing a hole in the heavens pouring darkness down upon the world. Naruto stepped forward, calm yet resolute. His new power shimmered quietly. Greater than, then I'll stop you again, no matter how many times it takes. Quote, Sasuke's Sharingan burned. You're not fighting alone this time. Naruto gave a nod. And then, the battle between Origin and Abyss began. Kaguya unleashed storms of void that devoured light. Entire mountains evaporated under her attacks. But Naruto countered each wave with a sweep of his hand, every motion rewriting reality itself. When darkness struck, he didn't block it, he converted it, turning void into matter, erasing destruction by rewriting its origin. The world trembled under forces beyond comprehension. Sasuke teleported across the battlefield, his Susanoo infused with divine energy Naruto granted him momentarily. Together, they struck like gods reborn, the bond between them pulsing through the chaos. But Kaguya's new form was infinite, each fragment of her body created new shadows. The more they fought, the more she multiplied. Her voice echoed through every copy, mocking them. Greater than, you cannot destroy me, Naruto Uzumaki. You are light, and I am its shadow. As long as you exist, so shall I. Naruto paused mid-battle. The truth hit him like lightning. Her existence was now tied to his, the balance of creation and void. Destroying her completely might mean erasing himself as well. Kurama's voice finally stirred again, faint but firm. Greater than, you know what you have to do, kid. Naruto nodded grimly. Yeah, I think I do. Quote, he looked at Sasuke one last time. If this works, I might not come back. Sasuke clenched his jaw. You always say that. And somehow, you always do. Naruto smiled. Then he closed his eyes and let his power rise. The world turned white once again. But this time, it wasn't destruction. It was fusion. Light and shadow intertwined, creation embracing void. The explosion that followed wasn't an end, it was rebirth. When the brilliance faded, Kaguya was gone. The sky was clear, and Naruto floated in the air, surrounded by motes of starlight. His eyes were calm. His aura was soft. He had merged both forces, not as a weapon, but as balance itself. He descended gently, landing beside Sasuke. Sasuke scanned him quietly. So, did you win? Naruto smiled faintly, exhaustion in his voice. Greater than, no one won. I just made peace, between light and darkness. Quote, he looked at the sunrise beyond the ruined horizon. The world doesn't need gods. It just needs people who believe in each other. The wind carried his words across the land, over forests and oceans, through every village that once feared war. And though he no longer shined like a god, every living soul felt it. The quiet warmth of hope. The power beyond the Sage of Six Paths was not destruction. It was harmony, the balance of all things. And Naruto Uzumaki had become its living heart. The dawn that followed the great clash between light and void stretched across a sky no longer divided by darkness. Clouds shimmered with faint hues of gold, and for the first time since the wars, the world was utterly still, not from fear, but peace. Naruto stood atop the valley's edge where the battle had ended. His new form, radiant, calm, and yet undeniably human, reflected in the water below. He was no longer glowing like a deity, his aura had softened into something gentler, almost human warmth made visible. The divine energy within him had settled, harmonized. Kurama spoke softly from within. Greater than, you did it, kid, you really did it. You merged both sides, creation and void. That's something even the sage never dreamed of. Quote, Naruto smiled faintly. Greater than, yeah, but I didn't do it alone. Sasuke, you, everyone, their faith in me, that's what made it possible. Kurama huffed a low chuckle. Greater than, still the same fool. The world's first living god, and you still talk like a kid from the Leaf Village. Quote, Naruto laughed lightly, the sound echoing across the valley. Guess that'll never change. Down in Konoha, the sky had begun to clear, the black ripples of dimensional distortion fading like mist. People slowly stepped outside, unsure if what they were seeing was real. The air carried a strange calm. It wasn't the silence after death, but the silence after a miracle. Hinata stood among the villagers, clutching Boruto and Himawari close. Her Byakugan deactivated as tears streamed down her cheeks. She had felt it, his energy, his struggle, his love, radiating even across space and time. Greater than, he's alive, she whispered, her voice trembling with faith. Naruto's alive. Sakura, standing beside Kakashi on Hokage Mountain, nodded slowly. Only he could pull something like this off. Kakashi's single visible eye softened behind his mask. He's not just a shinobi anymore. He's the bridge between worlds. Back on the battlefield, Sasuke approached Naruto, his cloak torn and armor cracked. His Rinnegan dimmed slightly, drained from overuse. Greater than, so, what happens now? Sasuke asked quietly. Naruto turned, gazing toward the rising sun. Greater than, now, we rebuild. But not just the villages, the world itself. Everything I touched with that energy is changing. The flow of chakra, nature itself, it's stabilizing. No more unnatural wars. No more curses from old gods. Sasuke's eyes narrowed slightly. You're saying the system of chakra might vanish. Naruto nodded. Greater than, not vanish, evolve. Chakra was always meant to connect people, not divide them. I can feel it now, every person's energy is harmonizing with nature again. No more weapons of mass destruction. No more Jinchuriki burdens. Kurama's gruff voice cut in. Greater than, you mean, I'm free. Naruto smiled warmly. Yeah, partner, you all are. From within him, the tailed beast's chakra began to separate, not forcefully, but gently, like a promise finally kept. One by one, they emerged in spectral forms, each glowing faintly before fading into beams of light that rose into the sky. Shukaku's gravelly voice rumbled, don't think this is goodbye, brat. You'll still feel us, everywhere. Matatabi's gentle tone followed. The bond remains, Naruto Uzumaki. You freed us, but you also made us part of something bigger. Quote, as each beast's essence returned to the natural world, Naruto felt lighter, not weaker, but whole. The link that had once been burdened with power was now pure connection. Sasuke watched quietly, his expression unreadable. You just changed the foundation of our world in one moment. Again, Naruto rubbed the back of his head, smiling awkwardly. Hey, guess old habits die hard. Sasuke turned to leave, cloak billowing. Don't go playing God too much, Dobe. You'll make the rest of us look bad. Naruto grinned. You, bad? Nah, you're just grumpy as always. A rare, almost invisible smirk crossed Sasuke's face before he disappeared into a flicker of space-time. That night, Naruto stood alone beneath the stars. The world was at peace, but inside him, questions stirred. His power was immense, almost limitless, but he no longer sought strength. He sought meaning. He looked up, eyes reflecting the cosmos. Greater than, Hagoromo, I wonder if this was what you wanted, for someone to go beyond the sage's power, not to rule, but to understand. And then he heard it, faint but clear, the voice of the sage himself. Greater than, you have done what even gods could not, Naruto Uzumaki. You transcended not through strength, but through love. That is the true path of creation. Naruto bowed his head. Then what now, old man? What's my purpose if I've already gone beyond? Quote, Hagoromo's voice grew softer, fading like a dream. Greater than, even the light must walk among shadows, for without shadow, it forgets its purpose. The world will change, but change always brings challenge. Stay vigilant, child of hope. Quote, the wind blew gently, carrying his words away. Naruto exhaled, long and slow. Guess peace doesn't mean the end. Just a new beginning. Weeks passed. The nations began to rebuild. The lands that were once scarred by war now bloomed with new life. Trees sprouted where craters once stood, and rivers flowed clearer than ever. People spoke of Naruto like a legend walking among them, a man who had faced the gods and come back with light in his heart. But Naruto refused worship. He rebuilt homes, trained children, and laughed like he used to. He wasn't a god to be praised, he was the same stubborn ninja who once swore to never give up. Yet, deep inside, he could still feel something vast humming in his core, the remnants of the Origin's power. It wasn't fading. It was calling. Kurama's voice echoed faintly. Greater than, you feel it too, don't you? Naruto's eyes turned toward the distant stars. Yeah, the energy out there, it's shifting again. Greater than, there's always something bigger, Kurama mused. Always another storm waiting. Naruto smiled faintly, his gaze unyielding. Then I'll be ready. That's my ninja way. As the camera of destiny pulled back, from the quiet village lights of Konoha to the glowing curve of the planet, and finally, to the endless expanse of stars, one could see a faint flicker far beyond the galaxy. Something stirred in the cosmic dark. An ancient consciousness older than the sage, older than chakra itself, opening an eye for the first time in eternity. Naruto, standing on the Hokage monument, felt it and whispered under his breath. Greater than, guess peace never lasts forever. The wind carried his words into the night. A whisper of both warning and hope. Because Naruto Uzumaki, the boy who once dreamed of being Hokage, had now become something far more. The guardian of creation. And the next storm was already coming. The wind brushed across Naruto's face as the night deepened over Konoha. Lanterns flickered along the streets, their warm light dancing in the reflections of the new rivers that now ran through the once broken lands. Every gust carried laughter, the kind of laughter born only after long sorrow. Children chased fireflies. The world was healing. Naruto stood quietly, arms folded, cloak swaying. The divine light that had once burned from him had dimmed to a soft glow, like moonlight beneath his skin. He no longer needed to shine like a star. Peace didn't demand brilliance, only warmth. Yet inside that calm hum of existence was another sound, low, deep, impossible to name. It wasn't threatening, just ancient, as though the universe itself breathed somewhere far beyond the sky. He closed his eyes and listened. Greater than, you still can't sit still, huh? The voice came from behind him. Sakura approached, her pink hair tied back, her medical coat fluttering lightly. Naruto turned and smiled. Guess I'm not good at quiet nights. She joined him at the edge, looking down at the glowing village. The kids talk about you like you're a legend already. Some think you're immortal now. He scratched the back of his head, grinning. Immortal, huh? Sounds lonely. Sakura's gaze softened. You changed everything. People feel it. Even the land feels it. But are you okay? Naruto looked up again, eyes tracing the constellations. When I merged the powers, I saw everything. Every life, every heartbeat. It's beautiful, but it's heavy too. Like carrying the whole world's dreams in your chest. She laid a hand on his shoulder. You've carried their pain before. Now you just carry their hope. That's who you are. He smiled quietly, the kind of smile that hid exhaustion behind peace. Days melted into weeks. Naruto spent them not in temples or thrones, but among farmers, builders, wanderers. He rebuilt bridges with his hands instead of jutsu. When people bowed, he asked them to stand. When they prayed, he told them to live. Kurama's deep voice occasionally stirred inside him, amused. Greater than, you realize you're the first so-called god who still pulls weeds with villagers. Quote, Naruto laughed. Guess I never liked sitting still in palaces. Greater than, you're weird, kid, Kurama rumbled. But I think that's why the world's breathing again. Sometimes, when he meditated by the river, he felt all nine beasts whispering faintly from the flow of chakra that now laced the plain. They weren't sealed anywhere, they were everywhere. It made him proud. They were finally free. One evening, as the sunset bled orange and gold across the clouds, Hinata joined him near the Hokage Tower. Her steps were quiet, her presence gentler than any wind. Everyone says you don't sleep anymore, she said softly. Naruto chuckled. I do, sometimes. Just less than before. Hinata studied his face. His eyes still carried that cosmic pattern, but they were kind, still the eyes of the man she loved. You look at the stars a lot, she whispered. Do you see something up there? He hesitated. Maybe. There's a pulse, like the world humming back. It's faint but constant. Is it dangerous? Naruto shook his head slowly. Not yet. It's just old. Older than the sage. Maybe the universe reminding me that peace needs watching. Quote. Hinata leaned closer, resting her head on his shoulder. Then we'll watch it together. For a moment, all the power in the world meant nothing beside that simple promise. Weeks turned into months. The elemental nations united under a single council, choosing peace over rivalry. The new chakra balance made war pointless. Every person could sense the emotions of others faintly, enough to understand instead of fight. Naruto walked among them like a silent guardian, guiding without ruling. When disputes rose, he listened. When fear returned, he smiled. His presence alone was enough to steady hearts. But every few nights, the whisper returned, clearer. Sometimes it came as a vibration through the earth, sometimes as faint light in the sky. Once, while meditating beyond the village borders, Naruto saw the stars bend slightly, as though space itself nodded to him. Kurama's tone grew thoughtful. Greater than that sound, it's not from this dimension. You've connected everything, and now everything is whispering back. Naruto opened his eyes. Then I'll listen. If the universe wants to speak, I'll hear it. Quote, greater than, you realize that might drag you somewhere even gods don't walk. He smiled. Then I'll just make a new path. One dawn, Sasuke returned. He appeared on the cliffs overlooking the hidden leaf, cloak darker than ever, his expression unreadable. When Naruto joined him, the Uchiha didn't turn. Greater than, you've changed the world, Sasuke said flatly. Naruto smirked. You say that like it's a bad thing. Greater than, it's balance now. But balance is fragile. Too much light, and darkness starts craving form again. Quote, Naruto glanced sideways. You felt it too. Sasuke nodded slowly. Something moves out there, past the moon. I saw it in my Rinnegan vision before it faded. It wasn't chakra. It was memory. Like the universe remembering something ancient. Quote, Naruto's hand tightened slightly. The hum in his chest pulsed in answer. Greater than, then it's not just me, he murmured. Sasuke's tone softened, almost wary. Whatever's coming, don't try to shoulder it alone this time. Quote, Naruto laughed quietly. You know me too well. Greater than, that's what worries me, Sasuke muttered, then vanished in a flicker of lightning. Naruto stood there a long while, watching the first sunlight spill over the village roofs. That night, he sat atop the old Hokage faces carved into stone. The stars shimmered like a sea of eyes. His cloak fluttered softly. Greater than, Kurama. Greater than, still here. Greater than, do you ever think about what comes after all this? Quote, a pause. Then the fox's voice, low and oddly gentle. Greater than, after peace. Maybe another story. Maybe you finally rest. Naruto smiled faintly. I don't think people like us get to rest. Greater than, then at least enjoy the quiet between storms. Quote, Naruto looked down at the glowing village once more, the children laughing, lights swaying, the scent of food drifting from the streets. Yeah, he said softly. I'll enjoy this part. Whatever comes next can wait. Quote, and for that moment, it truly could. Because the boy who once chased dreams had become the man who guarded them, standing between heaven and earth, not as a god or a weapon, but as a promise kept. The stars above pulsed once more, faintly, as if agreeing. The village slept under the silver glow of the moon, yet Naruto remained atop the Hokage monument, staring at the horizon. The faint pulse he had felt weeks ago now resonated like a heartbeat beneath the surface of existence itself. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, yet undeniably alive. Kurama's voice rumbled softly inside him. Greater than, you feel it again, don't you? Naruto nodded. Yeah, it's like the world itself is breathing. Not just Konoha, everything. Every life, every heartbeat. It's faint, but it's there. Something's waking up. Greater than, waking up. Greater than, I don't know yet, Naruto admitted. But I can feel it, like an echo from before creation. Quote, he closed his eyes, letting the gentle breeze brush across his face. In that stillness, he sensed every life in Konoha, the quiet steps of children, the rhythmic breathing of the elderly, even the slow pulse of the forests and rivers. The earth itself had begun to harmonize with the energy he carried. A soft wind swirled, carrying a faint whisper that wasn't human. It was neither chakra nor nature energy, yet it resonated inside him like a memory too ancient to name. His cosmic eyes flickered as he opened them, catching a glimpse of tiny distortions in the night sky, like subtle folds in the very fabric of reality. Greater than, Kurama, do you feel that? Greater than, I feel it, the fox admitted, voice low and uneasy. It's like something is stretching, testing the boundaries you set. Naruto exhaled slowly, grounding himself. Then I'll meet it, not as a weapon, but as someone who protects. The next morning, the villagers began to notice subtle changes in the natural world. Rivers sparkled brighter, flowers bloomed faster, and birds sang in unusual harmonies. Crops grew taller and healthier than ever before. People laughed more freely, but some whispered about strange lights in the night sky, tiny ripples that appeared and vanished in seconds, leaving no trace. Naruto walked among them, blending in as he always had, but now with a presence that subtly radiated calm and warmth. People could feel him even if they didn't see him. The very air seemed lighter when he passed. Sasuke returned quietly, appearing atop the cliffs outside the village. His Rinnegan scanned the horizon with concern. Even after all that power, you still haven't learned to keep your distance, he murmured, almost to himself. Naruto laughed softly, and missed seeing the way the world's healing. Not a chance. Sasuke's gaze softened. The calm you've brought is unnatural. I can feel the threads of the universe adjusting. Something ancient is noticing. Quote, Naruto frowned. Ancient. What do you mean? Greater than, not chakra, Sasuke said quietly. Something older. Something that predates even Hagoromo. It's dormant, but your awakening might be stirring it. Naruto's chest tightened slightly. Then I guess peace isn't as simple as it looks. Sasuke gave a rare, small nod. You've always understood balance differently. Just, don't let curiosity become recklessness. Quote, Naruto smiled faintly. I'll be careful, I promise. That night, Naruto meditated on the edge of the forest. The stars seemed closer than ever, as if they leaned in to watch him. The faint pulse was stronger now, resonating through the ground, the air, even through his very soul. It whispered with no words, carrying the weight of countless eons. He closed his eyes, feeling himself merge slightly with the pulse. It was terrifying in its magnitude, yet comforting. He could sense the birth of stars, the flow of life across countless worlds, the unseen hum of creation itself. Kurama's voice spoke, quieter than ever. Greater than, that pulse, it's calling to you, Naruto. It's asking you to step beyond even what we achieved together. Naruto opened his eyes, gazing at the night sky. Step beyond, or just listen. Quote, greater than, both, Kurama said. But be careful, the universe doesn't give guidance lightly. Its lessons are heavy. Naruto nodded, letting the cosmic hum fill him. In the quiet, he understood something fundamental. Even with all his power, he was a guardian, not a ruler. He could protect life, guide balance, but he could not control it entirely. A subtle breeze stirred, and with it, the whispering pulse seemed to grow louder. Tiny shards of light appeared above the trees, spinning slowly like distant stars falling toward the earth. Naruto's heart thumped in recognition. Greater than, it's curious, he murmured. Like the world wants to show me something, or test me. Kurama growled softly, a hint of unease in his tone. Greater than, curiosity can kill even gods, kid. Don't lose yourself in it. Naruto's hand brushed against the ground. I won't, but I will understand it. That's my way. Weeks passed, and Naruto continued his quiet guardianship. Children learned to run and laugh without fear. Farmers tilled their lands with newfound ease. Villagers spoke of lights in the night sky, glimmering, fleeting, almost like distant stars brushing the horizon. Naruto sensed them too. They were not threats, yet. They were signals. The universe's faint echoes, nudging him, reminding him that peace was never permanent. One night, Hinata found him once again atop the Hokage monument. You've been quiet, she said softly, holding his hand. Do you ever rest? Naruto looked at her, a faint smile on his face. I rest in moments like this. When I see everyone alive, happy, I rest in that. She leaned her head against his shoulder. And the stars. Quote, they're speaking, Naruto said quietly. Something ancient is waking, but it's patient. It doesn't rush, neither should I. Kurama's voice echoed gently. Greater than, even patience carries weight, kid. Remember that. Quote. Naruto nodded, gazing at the horizon. I'll remember. And as the wind whispered through the leaves, as rivers sparkled beneath the moon, as the faint light of distant stars twinkled in patterns beyond understanding, Naruto understood one thing clearly. Peace was not a destination. It was a moment between storms. A heartbeat, and he would guard that heartbeat, no matter how vast the universe beyond the stars. The cosmic pulse hummed again, ever so faintly. Naruto closed his eyes and smiled. Whatever came next, he would meet it, not as a god, not as a weapon, but as a protector. Because the boy who once dreamed of being Hokage had grown into something beyond legend, the living heart of the world itself. The morning sun rose slowly over Konoha, painting the village with gold and amber hues. Birds sang melodies that seemed unusually harmonious, their chirps blending into the natural rhythm of life itself. Naruto walked through the streets, barefoot, feeling the soil beneath him, the wind brushing across his face. Even without using chakra, he could sense everything, the heartbeat of every villager, the flow of the rivers, the gentle sway of the trees. Kurama's voice rumbled softly inside him. Greater than, you still insist on walking without using your power, huh? Naruto chuckled. Why use power when the world already sings on its own? Greater than, you realize that makes you sound like some wandering philosopher. Quote. Greater than, maybe, Naruto said with a faint smile. But maybe the world needs philosophers more than warriors right now. He approached the outskirts of the village where the forest stretched endlessly. Here, the pulse he had felt before was stronger, a subtle vibration in the air, like the universe itself breathing. He knelt and pressed his hands to the earth, closing his eyes. Greater than, it's faint, but it's there, he whispered. Kurama's presence hummed in agreement. Greater than, it's not chakra. Not even life energy. It's older than everything we know. I've never felt anything like it. Naruto's mind opened to it anyway. He let the pulse weave into his consciousness, careful not to overwhelm himself. Through it, he glimpsed eons, stars being born and dying, civilizations long forgotten, the subtle patterns of life and death interwoven like threads in a vast tapestry. It was beautiful, terrifying, and humbling all at once. Greater than, so, this is what it means to hold the power beyond the Sage of Six Paths, Naruto murmured. To feel the world, not just protect it, but listen to it. As the days passed, Naruto's life became a rhythm of quiet guardianship. He helped rebuild homes, taught children how to nurture the earth, and sometimes simply walked through the forests, absorbing the calm and the gentle pulse of the planet. People no longer feared him, instead, they felt a strange sense of safety in his presence. Hinata joined him often, her gentle presence grounding him. Boruto and Himawari ran along beside him, learning not just how to fight, but how to care for the world they inherited. Even Sasuke occasionally appeared, silently observing, offering guidance from the shadows. One night, as the stars shimmered above, Naruto felt the pulse again. It was stronger this time, like a heartbeat rising from the farthest reaches of the cosmos. The stars themselves seemed to flicker in response. Greater than, Kurama, it's calling me again, Naruto said quietly. Greater than, careful, kid. Even a whisper from that far back can crush a mortal mind. Greater than, I'm not mortal anymore, Naruto replied softly. But I'm still, me. Quote. He closed his eyes and focused. The universe unfolded in his mind, the distant galaxies, the unseen forces that shaped life and death, the threads connecting every soul. There was no malice in it yet, just observation. A reminder that peace, no matter how strong, was temporary. Greater than, the world is alive, he whispered. And it's reminding me of that. Weeks turned into months. Naruto's presence alone seemed to stabilize the world. Natural disasters diminished, crops thrived, rivers ran clearer, and animals no longer feared humans. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but the earth itself was healing. Yet the pulse persisted. Sometimes at night, he would see faint lights hovering above the forests, shimmering like stars that had fallen from the sky. They vanished when he approached, leaving no trace except the lingering sense of a presence far older than the planet itself. One evening, Sasuke returned silently. He appeared on a cliff above the village, his eyes reflecting the starlight. Greater than, you're doing well, he said quietly, his voice almost admiring. Naruto smiled faintly. Thanks, but even when the world is quiet, I can feel it. Something is still out there. Sasuke's gaze hardened. Something that predates the sage, maybe even Hagoromo himself. It's waiting, Naruto. And your awakening has drawn its attention. Naruto clenched his fists, feeling the faint cosmic vibration pulse through him. Then I'll be ready, not as a god, not as a weapon, but as someone who protects. That's my way. Sasuke nodded slowly, then disappeared in a flash of lightning, leaving Naruto alone with the stars. Night after night, he meditated under the cosmos, feeling the faint pull of the universe. The pulse grew slightly stronger, but it was patient, almost respectful. It did not demand action, yet. Naruto understood it as a test, a reminder that even the greatest power carries responsibility. Hinata often joined him, bringing warmth to the quiet nights. Together, they would watch the stars, speak softly of dreams and hopes, and teach Boruto and Himawari the ways of kindness, empathy, and courage. Naruto's life became a living lesson, that power was not for domination, but for connection. And yet, somewhere beyond the reach of light, beyond even the distant stars, something stirred. It was neither malevolent nor friendly. It was ancient, patient, watching, waiting, and for the first time, Naruto understood that peace, no matter how strong, was never permanent. But he smiled faintly. Greater than, I'll face whatever comes next, he whispered. Not alone, not as a god, but as me. And the stars shimmered faintly, as if acknowledging him, the boy who had once dreamed of being Hokage, now the living heart of the world itself. The days in Konoha passed in quiet harmony. Naruto wandered freely through the forests and fields surrounding the village, sometimes alone, sometimes with Boruto and Himawari racing ahead, laughter echoing like music across the valleys. The wind carried the faint scent of blooming flowers and freshly tilled earth. Each step he took seemed to awaken life subtly. The grass grew greener, the rivers ran a touch clearer, and the air itself felt lighter, almost as if the world recognized him not just as a protector, but as a presence integral to its balance. Kurama's voice rumbled softly within him. Greater than, even now, you wander barefoot like some carefree child, ignoring the weight of everything you hold. Naruto smiled faintly. Maybe, but the weight doesn't stop me from enjoying the world I helped protect. Quote, greater than, enjoying. Greater than, yeah, Naruto said, letting his gaze drift to the mountains in the distance. Even the smallest moments matter. The quiet mornings, the laughter of kids, the scent of rain, that's what peace feels like. And I need to feel it too. Kurama hummed lowly, a sound that seemed almost like approval. One evening, Naruto sat atop the Hokage monument, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of crimson and gold. The stars began to twinkle faintly as night approached, and with them came the subtle pulse he had been sensing for weeks, a vibration that wasn't chakra, wasn't nature energy, but something far older, far more patient. Greater than, it's there again, he whispered. Kurama's voice, deep and contemplative, filled his mind. Greater than, that pulse, it's like a reminder. Something ancient is stirring, Naruto. Not yet dangerous, but it's aware of you now. Quote, Naruto exhaled slowly. I can feel it. It's like the heartbeat of the universe itself, slow, deep, and steady. It doesn't rush. It doesn't need to. It just waits for me to notice. Greater than, careful, Kurama warned. Even something patient can overwhelm you if you misstep. Naruto nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. Then I'll step carefully. I won't rush. I just want to understand it. Night after night, he meditated under the stars, letting the pulse weave into his consciousness. In those quiet hours, he glimpsed fragments of existence he had never known, ancient civilizations that had risen and fallen long before the Sage of Six Paths, the subtle dance of galaxies in formation, the delicate balance between creation and void. It was overwhelming, but Naruto welcomed it, grounding himself in the knowledge that he was not just a witness, but a guardian. Hinata often joined him, her presence a soft anchor to his consciousness. Boruto and Himawari would sometimes peek from below the monument, curious about the serene figure their father had become. The family's quiet moments reminded Naruto of why he fought, why he lived, and why he needed to understand the subtle pulse he now sensed throughout the cosmos. Months passed, and the small disturbances he felt in the universe grew more defined. Tiny ripples of light appeared in the sky, brief glimmers that vanished as quickly as they came. Naruto knew they were not threats yet, but signals, reminders of an existence older than anything he had faced. The universe itself seemed to be speaking, testing his patience, his understanding, his ability to remain calm while holding unimaginable power. One evening, Sasuke returned. He appeared atop the cliffs overlooking Konoha, cloaked in darkness, eyes reflecting the starlight. Greater than, even after all that power, you remain grounded, Sasuke said quietly, almost as if surprised. Naruto turned, offering a faint smile. Someone has to stay grounded, right? You. Sasuke shook his head slightly. I've watched the world shift beneath your hands, Naruto. Your power has rewritten the natural flow of life itself. But there's something else out there now, something ancient. Your awakening has drawn its attention. Quote, Naruto's chest tightened. He felt the pulse more strongly now, almost as if the universe itself had leaned closer. Then I'll meet it, not as a god, not as a weapon, but as someone who protects. That's my way. Quote, Sasuke gave a small nod, his Rinnegan glinting in the starlight. Then we'll see how far your way can carry you. Evenings turned into nights, and nights into months. Naruto continued to weave through life, teaching, rebuilding, and observing the subtle cosmic currents that flowed across T. He planet and beyond. Villagers whispered stories of the man who walked among them, a figure whose presence brought warmth, whose gaze carried the wisdom of ages, yet whose laughter reminded them of the boy they once knew. Yet the pulse persisted, growing ever so slightly stronger. Naruto sensed it not as a threat, but as a reminder, the universe was patient, and even peace demanded vigilance. There was no hurry, no rush, only awareness. He often thought back to Hagoromo's words, even the light must walk among shadows, for without shadow, it forgets its purpose. The boy who had once wanted to be Hokage had grown into the man who could feel the heartbeat of the universe. And he would guard it, not through power, but through understanding. Kurama's voice murmured inside him, faint but approving. Greater than, you've truly become something beyond what even I imagined. But remember, kid, patience is heavy. And even now, the universe watches. Naruto smiled softly, gazing at the faint glimmers in the distance. I know, and I'll wait, I'll watch, and when the time comes, I'll act. My way, my promise. Above him, the stars shimmered, faint pulses dancing like whispers across the night sky. And Naruto understood, fully, that peace was never permanent, it was a fleeting heartbeat between storms, and he would stand as its guardian, as he always had. Because the boy who had once chased impossible dreams was now the living heart of the world itself, patient, calm, and aware of the subtle pulse of eternity. And in the quiet of that night, the cosmic pulse whispered back, faint but persistent, like an invitation, a promise, a question yet unanswered. How far could the heart of a ninja reach, when it held the weight of the universe? The air in Konoha was crisp that morning, carrying the scent of dew on freshly bloomed flowers. Naruto walked along the riverbanks just outside the village, bare feet brushing against the soft soil. The water sparkled as sunlight hit it, but to him, it reflected something deeper, a living pulse of life he had never noticed before. Every ripple seemed to hum in quiet harmony with the world. Kurama's voice echoed softly in his mind. Greater than, even now, you notice the smallest things, huh? Rivers, flowers, you never stop. Quote, Naruto grinned faintly. Those small things are why the big things matter. You can't understand the world just from its chaos. Greater than, I suppose you've always had a point there, Kurama rumbled. As Naruto continued walking, he sensed something unusual. A faint shimmer in the air, almost like heat haze, yet cool and soothing at the same time. He paused, closing his eyes, letting the energy wash over him. It wasn't hostile, it was patient, ancient, deliberate. Greater than, Kurama, do you feel that? He whispered. Greater than, I do, the fox replied, a rare note of unease in his tone. It's not chakra. not life energy. It's older than us, older than the sage. And it's curious about you. Quote, Naruto tilted his head, letting the feeling settle in. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't yet. But it was aware. Greater than, then I'll stay aware, he said quietly. I'll watch, and I'll learn. That's all I can do for now. Quote, That evening, he returned to the Hokage monument. The stars were clearer than ever, scattered like scattered shards of glass across the night sky. The faint pulse he had felt for weeks throbbed gently through the air, through the earth, and into his chest. Closing his eyes, Naruto reached outward with his senses, letting the subtle rhythm merge with his own energy. He glimpsed fragments of time he had never known, civilizations that had existed before humans, energy that shaped planets, the silent dance of cosmic threads linking all things. It was overwhelming in its scale, yet he felt no fear, only reverence. Greater than, Kurama, it's like the universe itself is alive, he murmured. Greater than, and you're a part of it now, Kurama replied. Not by chance, Naruto. You've reached a point few ever could. But that also means, the universe will expect things from you. Naruto exhaled slowly. Then I'll give it what I can. But not as a god, not as a weapon, as me. Days blurred into weeks. Naruto's presence alone seemed to stabilize the natural world. Forests grew healthier, rivers clearer, and even the air seemed lighter. Villagers whispered stories of their Hokage in ways they had never before. He wasn't a distant ruler anymore. He was a living, breathing part of their world. Boruto and Himawari ran alongside him during his walks, learning not only to fight but to understand the quiet rhythms of life. Hinata followed softly, her presence a gentle anchor to his extraordinary existence. Even Sasuke occasionally appeared, silent, watching the world through his Rinnegan, a faint worry in his eyes. One night, as Naruto sat on the cliffs overlooking the village, Sasuke finally spoke. Greater than, you've changed the world, he said quietly, but there's something else. Your awakening, it drew attention. Something old, something patient. Naruto's gaze fixed on the horizon, where the faint shimmer he had seen before pulsed like a heartbeat in the cosmos. I can feel it. It's not hostile, not yet. It's aware, and it's testing me. Greater than, be careful, Sasuke murmured. Even the patient can be dangerous. Even something that watches can act without warning. Naruto's jaw tightened slightly, determination hardening his features. Then I'll be ready. My way. I'll protect this world, not with fear or force, but with understanding. Sasuke nodded slowly, then vanished, leaving Naruto alone beneath the stars. Night after night, he meditated, letting the pulse of the universe flow through him. The energy whispered fragments of knowledge he couldn't yet understand, glimpses of life before humans, silent echoes of stars being born, threads connecting existence itself. He accepted it, grounding himself with patience. The weight of infinity rested lightly on him now, not as a burden, but as a responsibility he chose to bear. Hinata often sat beside him, silently watching the night sky. Their hands intertwined, her presence grounding him in humanity. Greater than, do you ever fear what comes next? She asked softly. Naruto shook his head. No, the universe has always been patient. I'll meet whatever comes, as myself. That's all I can do. The faint lights shimmered above the forest once more, tiny, impossible to name, far older than chakra, yet drawn to him. They vanished as quickly as they appeared, leaving only the lingering sense of presence. Naruto exhaled and smiled softly, feeling the weight of the world and the quiet heartbeat of life. Greater than, peace isn't permanent, he whispered to himself, but for now, it exists. And I'll guard it. Kurama chuckled softly inside him. Greater than, even after everything, you never lose that stubborn hope of yours. Naruto closed his eyes, leaning back against the stone, feeling the pulse of the universe in sync with his own heartbeat. The stars above twinkled faintly, acknowledging him, the boy who had once dreamed of becoming Hokage, now the living heart of the world itself, patient, aware, and ready for the quiet before the next storm. And somewhere, far beyond the stars, a presence stirred. Not yet a threat, but a reminder, even eternity watches, and even peace carries questions yet unanswered. Naruto's lips curved into a soft, resolute smile. Then I'll wait, I'll watch, and when the time comes, I'll act. My way. The dawn rose over Konoha, soft and golden, spilling light over the village and the forests beyond. Naruto stood atop the Hokage monument one last time, the wind brushing across his face, carrying the sense of life he had held. Head protect. Children's laughter drifted up from the streets below. Birds sang in unusual harmony. Rivers shimmered under the sunlight. The world was alive, and it was at peace, for now. He looked at the horizon, where distant mountains met the sky, and felt the faint cosmic pulse one last time. It was still there, a gentle hum in the universe, a reminder that eternity watched, that life itself was alive and ever-changing. He did not fear it. He did not need to control it. He simply acknowledged it, with patience, wisdom, and understanding. Kurama's voice echoed softly in his mind. Greater than, you've done more than anyone could imagine, Naruto. The world is at peace, for now. Naruto smiled faintly. Yeah, and it's beautiful. All of it. Every heartbeat, every life. I'll keep guarding it, no matter what comes next. Hinata approached silently, resting her head on his shoulder. Boruto and Himawari peeked from below, their laughter a gentle reminder of the life he had protected. Even Sasuke's presence lingered somewhere nearby, unseen but felt. Naruto closed his eyes, breathing deeply. The sun warmed his face. The village, the forests, the rivers, they all pulsed with life, a rhythm that matched his own heartbeat. He had achieved what no one thought possible. A world healed, a people united, a life balanced between divine power and human compassion. Greater than, peace isn't forever, he whispered. But it's ours to cherish while it lasts. Quote, he opened his eyes, gazing at the stars that still shimmered faintly above the mountains. Somewhere far beyond, the universe whispered its quiet secrets. Naruto did not need to answer now. He would listen. He would wait. He would protect. And in that moment, the boy who once dreamed of becoming Hokage had become something greater, a guardian, a symbol of hope, and the living heart of a world that could finally breathe. The stars pulsed softly, as if acknowledging him. The wind carried his words, his promise, and his quiet determination. Greater than, I'll face whatever comes, my way, my promise. And with that, Naruto stood tall, the dawn breaking over Konoha, ready to live and guard in peace, for now. If you enjoy this fanfic then please like and subscribe my channel Narutofix 11 for more fanfic. Thank you.